Bob, and welcome to L Space Archives. I want to start off just by saying, wow, thank you for that incredible reception to that first video. You guys just blew me away. Thank you for all the kind words and comments, and especially thank you to Andrea over at Infinite Text, who started the whole domino effect that led to Chris at Liminal Spaces and everybody's favorite Uncle Jimmy over at News from the Gelding, and that whole chain reaction that caused. Thank you so much. So let's go over to the table so I can show you some of the cool stuff that we added to the collection this week. So I have a few Pulp digests that I got this week. This first one is Fantastic Mysteries from 1941, and all of these are in really rough shape. Cover art is by Lawrence, and the interior art is by Virgil Finlay. That's going to be true on most of these I'm showing today. I don't know any of the authors in this one. The first one is claimed by Francis Stevens, but I do want to show some of the fantastic artwork. Let's see what the caption says. How horrible! The cities, the scarlet cities, crashing, falling. Oh, save me. Well, at least she was able to save her thermos. Oh, geez. A white horse was led to the river and sacrificed when high tide made the water brackish. It had happened before, and death and horror followed. This sounds like a horror weird tales sort of story, you know? Such amazing artwork. The gray-cloaked man lifted Lila bodily and flung her outward from the ship's side with superhuman strength. I need to read this. This is what I love. You stumble across stories and authors you would have never known about otherwise. Venus or Earth by Will McMorrow. Venus is great. We shall prevail over the Earthmen, the Amazon cried. Without warning, the silver globe rushed downward and crashed to pieces on the marble floor, burying her in the debris. Well, that had to be embarrassing. And an ad for Chesterfield cigarettes. Don't smoke, kids. And don't drop silver globes on unsuspecting Venusian Amazon queens. It's not cool. Just because all the other kids are dropping silver globes on Venusian Amazon queens doesn't mean you should. Okay, this next one, Fantastic Novels, magazine from July 1949. These are all in really bad shape, but that's okay. Our home is like a literary convalescent home for the well-loved and ill-abused. Or in this case, maybe a literary hospice. These look like they are on the verge of disintegrating, but we'll see what we can do. Between Worlds by Garrett Smith. More Virgil Finlay art. The caption says, their faces were the blank countenances of dead men. I absolutely love Virgil Finlay's art. Something about this style of black and white line work that intrigues me. Just one measly thing on your palette to work with. The negative space on the canvas. And yet, so much texture and depth. The ability to create so much from so little is kind of inspiring. She rose clear of the floor as though she had the mere weight of a bit of waterfowl's down. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. That belongs in a museum or our house. Absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, this sort of thing just sort of hits my sweet spot. We have canvas prints of Albert Dürer and Gustave Doré in our living room, and I think this would fit right in among those. Oh, hell yes, a giant dinosaur frog? It's kind of cute. Oh, no, he just wants to play fetch. Look, he's excited waiting for that dude to throw the stick. He's a dinosaur frog puppy? Oh, who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Yes, you are. And the albino otter? Okay, I'll give you a shot, little fella, but dinosaur frog puppy is going to be a tough act to follow. There's room to grow in Canada Unlimited. Not sure what that is. Are they still around? Is there still room to grow? My Canadian friends, please tell me more about this growth opportunity. And will I have to learn the metric system? It's not a deal breaker. Just want to practice multiplying by 10. So those two magazines came with this next one, which was the one I was really after. This is Startling Stories, January 1951, with Passport to Jupiter by Raymond Z. Gallun. This is Gallun's first novel. He had several short stories preceding this, but this was his first attempt at the longer format. This also has a Captain Future story by Edmund Hamilton, Moon of the Unforgotten. Suburbanite Anson Nord becomes a space-spanning hero when Earth totters under the weight of its own perfections. If you're not familiar with Gallun, you should really check him out. And by the way, most of these stories are available on Project Gutenberg. It's a great resource where you can check out some of these older stories and see if any of these authors are your particular cup of tea before spending tons of money on some of the harder to find pulps and paperbacks. It really lets you zero in on just those authors who you feel like you really connect with. Of course, I don't actually follow my own advice. Why sample the menu? Just have the waiter bring me one of everything. And more of that beautiful art by Finlay. And here's that Captain Future story by Edmund Hamilton. Ooh, I can train at home for a lucrative career in radio and TV repair. Awesome. And this next one was a separate purchase. This is Fantastic Novels, June of 1951, featuring The Girl in the Golden Atom by Ray Cumming. Now, this story originally appeared in serialized form, beginning in 1919 in All Stories Weekly magazine. So this story is already 32 years old by the time it got reprinted in this magazine. I would love to have the original in All Stories, but that would be more than my mortgage payment. This also has Spawn of the Comet by Otis Adelbert Klein. And here's the Cumming story. Now, admittedly, Cummings isn't the best writer as far as technical or artistic ability. However, he had a great imagination. This story introduced the concept of the subatomic universe. Without this, things like the quantum realm and Ant-Man wouldn't exist, or Isaac Asimov's Fantastic Voyage for that matter. Cummings was fascinated by the idea of inner space and the microscopic, entire civilizations, entire universes living within each atom. And I do enjoy the thought he put into his world building. And in later stories like Tama of the Light Country, which was my introduction to Cummings, he had some pretty progressive ideas for the time as far as how he presented his female characters. Again, not a great writer as far as prose, but there's just something ineffable about his stories that I connected with. And War God's Gamble by Harry Walton. I need to read and review these stories before they disintegrate, but we'll give them some TLC and try to keep them around for a little while longer. Regardless, I need to get these stories into my brain. So that's what I picked up last week. If you've read any of these more obscure authors, let me know what you think. Or if you know of other authors like this who've fallen from the public eye, I'd love to hear about them. Like I said, all that stuff was from last week. We also went out to our weekly thrift store binge, where once a week we just spend 8 to 12 hours just hitting up as many thrift stores and Goodwills and the library and everything else as we can possibly get into a day. And on the very last Goodwill that we went to, I ended up with about 138 pre-barcode paperback sci-fi books. So that was probably, it definitely was my biggest haul from a single place that I've ever done. So that will be broken up into multiple shorter book haul videos. But if you need to have the Ella Fitzgerald earworm out of your ear, we can give you a sneak peek, and you can thank me or blame me later. I'll see you next time.
Well, I'm a man from Mars, I'm as cute as can be. I can kiss the girl so tenderly, 'cause I'm a little bitty lover bugger man from Mars. Well, I'm a little bitty lover bugger man from Mars. Hey, I'm a little bitty lover bugger man from Mars, and I'm painting the town tonight. Yeah. I got 3 blue eyes, 4 legs and 3 arms. I really thrill the girls with all of my charm, 'cause I'm a little bitty lover bugger man from Mars. Well, I'm a little bitty lover bugger man from Mars. Hey, I'm a little bitty lover bugger man from Mars, and I'm doing the town up right.